It's a beautiful sunny afternoon from the Billie Jean King National Tennis Center. We're in Flushing, New York. Today on Facebook Live is the annual CUNY Women's Tennis Championship match, featuring the top two seeds, two-seed and defending champion Baruch College, and top seed and perennial power, the undefeated Hunter College Hawks. And with that, good afternoon and welcome. Alongside Noah DeWolf, I'm Ralph Bednarczyk. Interesting dynamic here at play, Noah. Baruch, last year's champions, they have the CUNY Player of the Year and sophomore Ava de Guzman, but Hunter won this year in the regular season match, October 18th, 5-2 in that one, showcasing their depth. Interesting dynamic to see how Hunter, if they're able to replicate that today.
Yes, Ralph, the key for Hunter is the depth. Baruch, yes, they're your defending champion from last year, but Hunter, when they played Baruch this season, came away 5-2, only dropping those top two first singles and first doubles spots. Look for Hunter to really capitalize on that depth and run up the score, especially on the lower singles and the lower doubles.
And for Baruch, it starts with Ava de Guzman, who is only a sophomore from Long Beach, California. She's only dropped one match so far in her two-year career in last year's NCAA tournament. What a star she is, and already an iconic player in first singles and first doubles leading Baruch.
Yes, she's a star. In fact, a two-star recruit, the highest ranked and probably most qualified player out here. She could be playing up a level or two. She's actually undefeated from first singles and first doubles this year, and look for her to continue that today.
And for Hunter, their depth, but if someone has to step up, it could be Angelina Catania, who is a sophomore from Delray Beach. Second singles, second doubles. She appears to be significant today.
Yes, Catania is the key for the Hunter Hawks today. Ralph, I got to tell you, Catania has a big serve. A la Andy Roddick or Venus Williams likes to go for it on the first. She will consistently pound in and also really try to just take control of the match from the get-go. She's undefeated from the second singles and second doubles spot this year. She's really going to be critical for them today.
We'll be bringing you full coverage of the first singles match and first doubles, and maybe a live look-in on second singles and second doubles. With our coverage today on Facebook Live is the 2022 CUNY Women's Tennis Championship, and it's coming up next.
Pepsi. Pepsi, the official soft drink of the CUNY Athletic Conference. The Hospital for Special Surgery, U.S.'s #1 hospital for orthopedics, proud to be the official hospital of the CUNY Athletic Conference. USS, the University Student Senate, a proud sponsor of the CUNY Athletic Conference. Thank you for providing our students with the platform to help shape the City University of New York. Health First. We'd like to thank our newest sponsor, Health First, New York's largest not-for-profit insurer, for being a proud sponsor of CUNYAC Community College and Senior College Championship. Hometown Ticketing. Thank you to Hometown Ticketing, the official ticketing provider of the CUNY Athletic Conference. And Bob McCloskey Insurance, a longtime supporter of the CUNY Athletic Conference, the official athletic insurance provider of the NJCAA.
Versus Savinch, Rakhmatinova.
And welcome back live here from the Billie Jean
at number
US
2
National
singles on
Tennis
court
Center,
15
Ralph
will be
Bednarczyk with
Angelina
Noah Wolf.
Catania from Hunter
Here is
versus
CUNY
Esther Benjamin
Executive
from Baruch.
Director, Interim Director of the CUNY,
At
Carl
number
Christian,
3 singles
going through the
on
starting
court
lineups.
14
And
will
the
be
matchup,
Savinch
so let's show you
Rakhmatinova of Hunter
what will be taking place
versus
here
Regina
on
Kelly
other courts that we'll
of
be
Baruch.
monitoring for this CUNY Women's Tennis Championship.
At number 4 singles on court 13 will be Anna Chapko of Hunter.
Singles matchup, Noah,
versus
of course,
Erika
we touched on
Shaladenko
Ava de
of
Guzman
Baruch.
and Zara Afida, which we'll show you in its entirety. Esther Benjamin,
At
Angelina
number 5
Catania
singles
in a key
on
number
court
2
12
slot
will
there.
be Mia Chan
But
of
then
Hunter
the depth of
versus
Hunter
Kayla
that
Pagan
showed
of
itself
Baruch.
October 18th. What stands out to you, 3, 4,
And at number
5,
6
6 for the
singles on
Hawks
court
that might
11
be a difference maker?
Well, Ralph, it's really looking at the 4th and 5th spots. I think that's where the Hunter Hawks are really going to shine. You have Anna Chapko, a second-team All-CUNY, 10-0 as a freshman this year between the 4th and 5th. And then Mia Chan, the senior, 6-1 from the 5. That is depth at its finest. And if Hunter is able to capitalize on those 2 spots there, it might be a nail in the coffin for the Bearcats.
And again, going back to the regular season meeting between these two, it was Hunter winning, or the Baruch winning both #1 singles and #1 doubles, Hunter winning the rest. So that's a look at our singles matchups. And then over to our doubles matchups, which we'll get started with. First doubles. First doubles will be Ava de Guzman and Esther Benjamin against Zara Afida and Nikki Rathi. But then a number 2 spot, Regina Kelly and Erica Shuladenko of Baruch, Angelina Catania and Sevinch Rakhmatinova of Hunter. In second doubles, Kyla Pagan and Alejandra Cardenas of Baruch, Anna Chapko, Mia Chan of Hunter in third doubles there. Perhaps we could probably call it, there's great pressure on Hunter, Noah, probably for everybody else in those other matchups because of de Guzman's reputation.
Yes, you look at de Guzman, she's going to run the singles, and I would expect the same from her in that doubles as well. In fact, if all it's going to take is if she can get her racket on the ball, that might be another easy take for the Bearcats. That said, if you're looking at the second doubles, I think it's more of a toss-up. Again, we mentioned Angelina Catania in the intro. She's really incredible, and if she's able to dictate the tone with her serve, again, it could be a good momentum build there for Hunter.
Recent champions, Hunter, especially before this last decade, was basically copy and paste. Hunter College women's tennis has been one of the dynasties across CUNY sports. They have won 22 championships, but in the last decade, it's been a little bit more balanced. John Jay, a 2017 championship. Staten Island, who is now up to Division II, but they went back-to-back years. And Baruch, of course, being the defending champions from a year ago, but they did lose 3 key starters off of last year, but they did bring back Ava de Guzman. And interesting talking with Greg Wiskowski about Ava's ascension. She, as he said, well, I don't have to drive her, just have to steer her a little bit during the course of the season and stay out of her way.
She does get her motivation from within. We talked about it before we went on the air even. She was looking for hitting partners outside of the college ecosystem just so she could keep getting better. And boy, have the results showed. She hasn't even dropped a set from singles this season. And in the doubles, more of the same. Running the first and second slots also has been an absolute force.
So first doubles, getting ready and talking to our umpire to go through the ground rules, as now our coaches will be walking around and trying to organize things around them. Very busy coaches, Alec Trezos of Hunter, Greg Wiskowski of Baruch. Great conditions, 65 degrees and occasional stiff wind of 14 miles an hour. And you at times will hear that. It is actually coming from our back towards the top court. So from the bottom court, there'll be a little bit of a push, and we'll see what kind of impact and influence that may have.
I'll tell you exactly what kind of impact it'll have. It will absolutely help the server on the near side. The ball's going to push into the court a little bit, allowing the server to hit forward and really get on top of the ball. Look for whoever is serving with the wind to get a little bit more pace.
So we're ready to go with Zara Afida on the top portion of your screen.
And Esther Benjamin off to a hot start with the angled volley there, Ralph.
Yep, Esther Benjamin started off at the net with Ava de Guzman back. Zara Afida will be on serve with Nikar Rathi of Hunter in this first doubles. And the hitting error, and up to 30 love here, opening set. How about return shots in terms of the wind hitting back into it? You could just feel that. I feel that on my back.
Well, it's the wind giveth and the wind taketh away. You look at the returners, they are going to go for it a little bit less with the wind at their back.
And de Guzman, line winner.
Or you just keep it low and hit it flat, and that works just as well.
In first doubles, the matchup was different October 18th, where de Guzman was paired up at the time with Kyla Pagan of Baruch in second doubles. So the two teams did not see this matchup, as Benjamin with the hitting error there. But talking to Alex Trezos of Hunter, of course, with having now coached against Ava de Guzman, feeling the big key is the less balls Ava de Guzman hits, the better off Hunter will be. How do you accomplish that in doubles as a game plan?
Well, you go for the lobs. You hit the lobs, you hit it over her. She's only 5 feet tall.
And de Guzman, another line winner.
But yeah, on the second serves, if she's returning, look for her to just keep going back to that shot, the forehand down the line.
So 1-0 Baruch. And de Guzman with a couple of winners. Esther Benjamin started it off. Her 2 winners nearly identical.
Yeah, and the same thing too, also from de Guzman, really sets the tone. I mean, if you're unable to convert those second serve opportunities, it's going to be hard to hold. And of course, de Guzman, she's a force out there, going to serve to consolidate the break.
So the onus on Hunter. Can they hang in here? First doubles just put a little pressure on de Guzman and Benjamin. Defensive swing by Afida. And Benjamin with the quick winner. Good tune-up on Sunday for Ava de Guzman and Esther Benjamin. They went to a Sunday tiebreak at first doubles against Stockton, who was a very good doubles team. They won the tiebreak 8-6, and there is an ace from de Guzman.
That's interesting. I believe that ball actually hit the net cord. And in college, of course, you have to play those lets. You can see there, yeah, for Rathi, just nothing that she could do with that ball.
De Guzman chases down the lob. And Benjamin on the volley.
The two of them just set each other up so well on the Baruch side. You can see there de Guzman with the big lob. And then, yeah, nothing that really anybody could do with that. Easy put away there for Esther Benjamin.
De Guzman on serve. Second serve in. And Benjamin with the hitting error at the net. Ava de Guzman is a 5-foot sophomore from Long Beach, California. Long Beach Poly High School, a huge program across all athletics. Many NFL players that have come through there. That's big into sports. As another net, and she was named CUNY Player of the Year for the 2nd straight year. 12 in all-time singles competition against CUNY. As there's the error on the return by Afida.
Quick hold there from de Guzman.
So Baruch 2-0. First team to 8. And Rathi with a mishit after having to go to her second serve. Nikar Rathi will continue. She's a redshirt junior from Rego Park as we watch #1 doubles here at Windy Court 16. Rathi transferred from John Jay after last year. And Greg Wiskowski remembers coaching against her, including in the 2019 CUNY final, where Rathi was part of that John Jay team. And she was very good, and doubles is considered to be her strong point. And de Guzman, sharp return off the volley. Rego Park, very close here to Flushing. So is Cardozo High School. Afida right back. Nice lob by Rathi, but then the volley could not be finished by Afida at the net.
I think right there, de Guzman just showed why she's the best player on court. Smart player, too. You see she just takes the lob into the open court there and really just puts Hunter in a defensive position where they ultimately end up losing the point.
And Benjamin just missed, looking middle.
You have to like how Benjamin does go after those volleys. You could see, I mean, just with de Guzman's height, they're going to keep her in the back, and Benjamin is going to be the one primarily patrolling the net, and she really does go for the angles. She hits aggressive on the volleys, and it doesn't matter if she misses. She's still positive and clearly doesn't let it get to her.
And Rathi trying to find first serve so far early in this doubles. Another winner, this time slicing it across for de Guzman.
Oh, de Guzman, more of a rip than a slice there. Ralph, I gotta tell you, she's gonna keep going to that shot as long as they give it to her off of those second serves. It's almost too easy, and you just have to look at Hunter to get some more depth, more spin, and more pace if they're gonna keep any shot of staying alive here.
3-0 Baruch. There's Hunter coach Alex Trezos with a word with his first doubles team. And I would imagine among the first things is first serve has to be landed in. Try to put a little bit more pressure on de Guzman and Benjamin.
Right now it's just too easy for Baruch. They're teeing off on those second serves, and statistically speaking, if you can't put your first serve in and you can't hold, you're probably not going to win matches.
Baruch experienced a little bit of a rebuild this year. And of course, you say that with an asterisk when you have the CUNY Player of the Year as a freshman back, but only half the lineup returned for Greg Wiskowski from last year. A lot of new faces that didn't have experience. Esther Benjamin stepping up into larger shoes. She was first team All-CUNY last year, as this year a sophomore from Flatbush, Brooklyn. That's Benjamin on serve, second serve coming. So she misses on first serve there. And for Esther, as it is very challenging with these Division III student athletes, particularly in New York, her schedule between work and classes has lent her to be a little bit more in and out. So that the rhythm of that season where you're squeezing in a lot into 19 weeks. But everybody is available today from both sides. And a swing and a miss and an ace delivered for Esther Benjamin.
She goes to the body there, Ralph, and gotta say, it's just hard to sometimes get out of the way from that. Doesn't matter if the ball's hit very hard or not. If it's just coming right at you, you just have to move your feet around it. And Rathi couldn't do that there. She is overhitting just a bit on her serve right now. Everything seems like it's going just a bit long.
Yeah, Benjamin double faults again. And that's about the only blip that Baruch has had so far. Their serve has yet to be clean, but they lead this first doubles 3-0. Once this concludes, we may do a live look in on second doubles, which would appear to be very significant, and then later first singles.
She needs to make a serve here.
And another double fault for Esther Benjamin.
It does look like the sun is getting to her just a bit. Right now, Benjamin is a right-handed player who is looking right into the sun, and it's a little hard sometimes. You have to move your toss around, and just not always super easy to hit with the same rhythm and the same pace there.
Oh, there it is. She took a little off, and Benjamin comes up with the ace. Well, now she's found her serve. That ball hit out by Rafi.
Sometimes, yeah, that's all you have to do. Put the serve in and let the other team just make the mistake. Consistency is just so key, especially at this level of tennis. And the more you can just keep the ball in, as you see with de Guzman and Benjamin, the more the results are going to come and generally be pretty positive. Beautiful drop shot there.
After a tremendous serve, Esther Benjamin might have just found her serve over those last few. So Baruch in control, about to put away game 4, first doubles.
They just have all the momentum right now. Look for Zara to hold here if they have any shot at staying in this.
And de Guzman able to fight it off after the nice earlier return by Rafi.
Yeah, de Guzman, the wry smile there. You know she did more on that point than she was expecting to do, and after popping the ball up a couple times, she probably knows she got a little bit lucky there.
Well, Afida right at de Guzman in a rare hitting error from Ava.
It does seem like Hunter is going after de Guzman more than we anticipated in this. You think about doubles, it's easier to keep the ball away from the star player on the court. But no, Hunter taking it right to the Bearcat star.
Well, they just served de Guzman, but then the volley right into the net by Benjamin. 4-0 Baruch. And there is no official scoring visible here, so we're going based on our guesses and watching the umpire.
You have a lot of power, Ralph. A lot of people are trusting you here with that score.
And Afida trying to find her stroke now. Zara, a redshirt junior from the City High School of Fashion Industries. Was second team All-CUNY last year, first team All-Star as a rookie. She embraced being in the #1 spot.
It's funny to see that you say that. A lot of players who don't necessarily have the same gravitas to their game don't want to be in that #1 spot. Oh, and there's a big winner there from Zara. Some pent-up frustration released on that ball.
Afida, her best stroke today. Been in the #1 slot since she was a freshman in 2019 at Hunter.
Yeah, and she just does. She's not one of those players who's going to get super tied up about her win-loss individually. She's really there for the team. She'll go up against those top players, give them a fight, and know that there's depth behind her that's ultimately going to carry the team to success, regardless of what she does on court.
And Rafi low. And Baruch coming up on another victory to go up 5-0. Then we'll pause and then have first singles as this wraps up. And as they come along, we'll bring you scores or finals from the other courts taking place. De Guzman, another tough winner at Rafi, too hot to handle. Another win, 5-0 for Baruch here in #1 doubles. And Ava de Guzman and Esther Benjamin have found their strokes. Esther maybe working through some serving issues.
You could just see the attitude and the camaraderie between these two. They're laughing and smiling together on the changeover. I mean, a lot of reason to be happy right now, up 5-0. But you can just tell that these two really pick each other up and really bring out the best in each other's games.
There's a look at Court 2. Second doubles also during a timeout. Our picture-in-picture. And we get ready for game 6 here. Baruch now in the top portion of your screen. Baruch 10-4 as a team in the regular season. Hunter 11-0. But you must win first team to 5 victories between doubles, 3 doubles, and 6 singles.
And that's the difference between college tennis and the pros, Ralph. It is the depth that counts. It doesn't matter if you have the best player, you need to have players behind them. And that's why we're looking at this matchup. And a big reason that Hunter is 11-0 is that depth. They've been able to really run away with the lower singles and the doubles as well throughout this season.
Game 6. 15-love Hunter. And Rathi sailed it. All game 6. And Benjamin with the strong return. You can see her motioning, and it seems like Esther has been working on that pseudo stroke on volleys, even between points consistently for that second return.
That was drawn up perfectly there. You saw that she calls for the serve out wide, gets the return, and is there for the easy poach in the middle of the court. Good thought from de Guzman there, changing things up with the slice after a series of those lobs. But hey, keeping Hunter alive in this game. The net court is unkind.
Best rally won by the Hawks today as they try to salvage a game and then see if they can change momentum in any way. Zara Fida and Nikki Rathi, October 18th, they had lost 8-2 to what is the number 2 doubles today for Hunter, and Erica Shaladenko and Regina Kelly. Oh, we got a match starting to develop here.
Yeah, Zara starting to finally feel her stroke on that forehand. Interesting enough, I was just about to say how it didn't seem like either team was coming to net, and in doubles, of course, that's your goal. The more you get to the net, the better you're able to put away points. There, though, if you're just ripping the ball from the baseline and your hands aren't great on the other side, a bit of an interesting strategy here from both Hunter and Baruch, both teams opting to stay back in general, and Baruch, of course, getting burned when they do get both players to the net.
Nikki Rathi on serve.
It's a bad double there that sets the tone for this game. And at this point for Hunter, you got to keep your head up and remember that you do have a lot of depth behind you, and a lot more is going to be decided outside of this match. That said, nobody likes to lose. These girls are all fierce competitors out there.
Rothi with the chase down, and Benjamin got caught in between volleying and swinging.
I feel like Benjamin almost could have let that ball go. I would have had a better shot at going out than if she got a racket on it. But sometimes for an aggressive net player, like somebody like Benjamin, it's almost just too tempting, and you got to hit down on it.
And Benjamin again tying up Rothi with a strong low volley. So after Hunter took a game, 15-30, Hunter on serve. Shot missed by Rothi. 15-40 as Baruch inches closer towards a 6-1 advantage. You play just one set in doubles, so there's very little margin for error. Matches can go pretty quick.
Another missed first serve there from Rothi.
Oh, Benjamin.
Wow, playing to the wind. A huge gust comes there, and you almost felt that Benjamin felt it. Drops the volley in there, and the wind just knocked that ball down.
Like the wind put up a stop sign after the ball bounced. 6-1, Baruch responds by taking the game as they are inching closer towards taking first doubles. Let's see the Benjamin volley.
Yeah, that ball just died. No bounce there even. You heard the gust in our headsets, I'm sure. And wow, Benjamin, she's really shown great hands at the net this match, and also an ability to really hit aggressive on those volleys and come through the ball. And that's something that we haven't really seen consistently at the D3 women's level.
Here's Greg Wiskowski, former head coach at Seton Hall, in his 6th season coaching men's and women's tennis this year. And he had set the gold standard last year, winning both Baruch men's and women's CUNY championships, and he was named CUNYAC head coach in both sports.
He's certainly becoming somewhat of a CUNY legend, you could say. And I believe that was his first time on court 16 to check in on this match. He just knew that his girls had it under control.
Greg's had some great experience, head women's tennis coach out at St. Elizabeth College in Morris County, New Jersey, and then of course at Seton Hall. Before that, at Division I program, and is still frequently seen working as an official at Division I level events. Spent 9 years as the head women's tennis coach at Seton Hall from 2007 to 2016 in the Big East. Started the program at Division II Georgian Court when it was moving from the NAIA level up to Division II. And Benjamin with the double fault. Oh, de Guzman just reaching for it after a strong serve, maybe Esther Benjamin's best.
Yeah, agreed there, and you see it was almost like a deja vu of that first point there, where you just saw Benjamin just lay in the serve, and of course de Guzman, she's going to be well positioned to put that ball away.
Looks like we have a final over on court 2 in second doubles.
Now the million-dollar question is, do we know who won it?
We will find out. Esther Benjamin, sharp slice.
Might be the first ball there that de Guzman's missed.
Yep, Zara Afida able to come up with an ace. And de Guzman wins that volley through Rathi and into the net.
You know, they were talking about how lucky they were on that volley before there. Pardon me, Esther Benjamin popped that one up sky high. It was a rocket of a ball from Zara.
Well, Rathi, who is a lefty, had to move her body out of the way. That ball came in on her so hot and
again,
unable to get a swing.
De Guzman really showing why she's the best player on court here. Hits the ball with amazing depth and spin. For a player of her size, too, I think it's even more impressive. She has definitely hit the hardest of anyone on this court today. Good idea there from Zara, but ultimately pushes the return wide. Something I've been very impressed with from both teams is how much they are going for it on these returns of serve. You know, an aggressive return really dictates the tone for the rest of the point. And really on both Hunter and Baruch's side, all players on the court not afraid to go for it.
Here is Afida with her best volley. Now Benjamin put it on a platter up for her. So Hunter bearing in on a potential second game win here at 6-1.
And yeah, you just see how she moves into the net there. Too easy, and they're a well-deserved point for the Hunter Hawks. Great angle.
Best shot for Nikhar Rathi. And Hunter takes a second game, 6-2. After Baruch started 5-0.
Yeah, and again there, I mean, really just an unreturnable ball. Great angle on the inside out from Rathi, and really nothing that de Guzman could do there. Both coaches conversing with their players. Ralph, what do you think Greg Wisniewski is saying to his team right now, up 6-2, but coming off of just that one-game slip?
Yeah, it was interesting talking to Greg. It's not even so much what he was saying about managing Ava de Guzman, just so casually how she can self-correct. That's really what stood out to me about what he spoke about with her, and that tells you that a player is starting to reach another level. When you hear, to me, when you hear a coach say that, how often did your coaches growing up allow you to self-correct?
Not very. I wasn't very good at it, and that's why I talk about tennis and I'm not playing.
So de Guzman and Benjamin aiming to self-correct. It's now 6-2. First doubles side to get to 8. You play just one set in college tennis. And we're still awaiting a score on court 2. Number 2 doubles is final, 8-1 Hunter. So Angelina Catania leading that way, number 2 doubles, and then it's also 5-3 Hunter on third doubles. So it is playing out a little bit the way it did in last year's CUNY final, where Hunter's 2 wins, as they lost to Baruch 5-2, their 2 wins were taking 2 out of 3 in doubles.
this is a perfect example of why college tennis is just such a wild ride. Doesn't matter what you're necessarily seeing on your screen, the deciding action can come from a court 3 courts down.
And Benjamin able to split the 2 Hunter players.
Great swinging volley there.
So meanwhile, the win over at court 2 for freshman Sevinch Rachmaninova and Angelina Catania. So that is final. And then it's also final. Anna Chapko and Mia Chan of Hunter making very quick work of Kyla Pagan and Alejandra Cardenas. They lead 5-3 over in third doubles.
Beautiful touch volley there from Benjamin. And again, we can't say it enough, soft hands at the net and just an ability to really get in position to work the volley from any angle. Of course, definitely a little bit wind-aided there on that drop volley.
Oh, Benja was looking to get it all and split the 2 Hawks and commits the error.
She would have wanted that one back. You have to love the reaction from de Guzman. Just a thumbs up and a smile to her teammate. Again, I think anybody who's been on a tennis court can relate to that one.
The let had to be played.
Wow, great constructed point from the Baruch Bearcats there. You had to like the lob from Esther Benjamin. That really definitely pushed Hunter back. And then, of course, the pair of de Guzman and Benjamin getting to the net together. And a great angled volley there from de Guzman to put the point away. There you see that lob. That was over the shoulder. Wow.
Oh, Benjamin tried to cut it down, knowing that de Guzman was well over into the corner. This match has leveled out certainly over the last 4 games. There was 5-0 Baruch. And here we go in game 9 with Hunter having a chance to steal it. Get to within 6-3.
Great volleying there from the Bearcats. And that actually, what a way to close it out. How about that from Esther Benjamin and Eva de Guzman?
It does conclude, so the score must have ended up actually at 8-1, beg your pardon, or 8-2 Baruch in that first doubles. And that is final, so Baruch is able to get one. So for the moment, we are tied at 1 win each. Court 3 is still going, where at last check it was 5-3 Hunter, the combination of Anna Chapko and Mia Chan against Kyla Pagan and Alejandra Cardenas of Baruch. And now first singles will be coming up as Zara Afida will take a second to unwind, and Eva de Guzman, and they will both start to get going here on court 16. And everybody's going to go over there to see what's going on court 3 with a little bit of drama there to try to see who will lead 2-1 as we start singles. So here's a look at that court, court 3. Hunter at the bottom with Chapko and Chan. Cardenas and Pagan at the top portion of your screen. And we'll try to get a score as soon as we can to see what the situation is here. And Well, there appears to be a dispute. Could it be an order of server dispute?
I'm unsure what it is, but definitely tension's a little bit high here in this CUNY championship match. A lot to play for here, and tensions do sometimes boil over on the tennis court.
Well, it does appear to be that the Hunter pairing of Chapko and Chan are the ones upset. So here is Chapko on serve for Hunter. Oh, great return from Chapko here in number 3 doubles. Again, last we heard about 10 minutes ago, it was 5-3 Hunter. So this could be the final game, and they could take the lead with them in this CUNY final into singles play.
Chapko playing at a blistering pace. She's still on the line right now, getting ready to serve again. She's saying, "Where's my ball?" right now.
Anna Chapko is a freshman that was named second team All-CUNY. And part of that great depth for head coach Alex Trezos that he talked about, particularly highlighting his 4 through 8 spots. That's a hitting error by Baruch at the net. He had tough decisions consistently to make, and great problems to have for a coach. 4 through 8, you can only have 6 on game day. So unfortunately, he had to figure out who would be the 2 that would sit in days like this. Chan, and her volley is out. So that is Pagan that finished strong at the net. So now everybody's gone over to court 3 to cheer on their teammates. And Chapko, a hard winner down the line.
Well, yeah, she split the difference there actually on the cross-court volley. And again, you can't in doubles put the ball in the middle of the court without any kind of pace, spin, or direction on it. Otherwise, you're going to get burned, and we saw it right there.
Chapko missing the back line.
She does like to play that lob, it looks like.
And there's the update on the score. It is Hunter 7-3, bearing in on a win.
And that explains some of that pace of play there. When you're up and you're ready to close a match serving for it, you just want to get the ball and go. And Chapko doing exactly that.
And Chapko, almost a replay of an earlier point. The lob from the deep corner, and that is all. That is the winning point. Anna Chapko, terrific finish, and it will be Hunter 8-3 in third doubles. They lead this CUNY championship now 2-1. We'll take a break, and we'll have first singles coming up as the two teams will get ready across the 6 courts here at the Billie Jean King United States National Tennis Center. Hunter trying to win the program's 23rd CUNY championship. They've taken 2 out of 3 in doubles. We take time out on Facebook Live. And welcome back here to the Billie Jean King United States National Tennis Center. Court 16 as well will be focused for first singles. And there is Hunter Renshaw Jr., a senior academically, and Zara Afida, who has been in the #1 single spot her entire career. And she has the task of going up against Eva de Guzman, now two-time CUNY Player of the Year, a freshman out of Long Beach Poly High School in Long Beach, California, that has yet to lose to anybody in CUNY, but Zara trying to fire herself up and be ready here. A future heart thoracic surgeon. Meanwhile, Eva de Guzman seemingly always has a smile on her face, and so humble the way Greg Wiskowski describes her that even when she may not be doing great, you don't see a big difference in her. Never too high or too low. And as we just saw Eva run through first doubles 8-1 with Zara Afida as a member of that Hunter doubles team. What's important for Zara to hang in? You know you're a part of the bigger picture, but nevertheless you have a match to play. Someone has to go up against the other #1s.
Well, I think with Zara, it's just going to be a matter of her being able to come out and just have a short memory. The last time these two played, in fact, the last 2 times these two played, de Guzman actually double bageled 6-love, 6-love to beat Zara, and it was not pretty either time. I think that in order for Zara to come out and have success today, she's going to have to keep the ball deep and hit with depth and pace, and definitely keep de Guzman on the defensive, because when she is moving around the court and executing her angles, she's pretty much unbeatable, as we've seen for the most of this season.
Some of the things that Alex Trezos, her coach, has talked to her about is, #1, you have to believe when you go up against a big record #1, and that's the first part, that too many times he has seen players in matches where they're already out of it before it begins. You have to believe in the #2 having that game plan to take it to de Guzman and be there point to point. And you never knew, you put some pressure on, and perhaps at worst some of your other teammates on the other courts may catch wind of that and maybe rally them as well.
And it should be noted too, Ralph, that Afida did make de Guzman look human in some of those doubles points. Afida has that big forehand that when she's able to control that, it can really keep de Guzman on the defensive.
Zara Afida with plans to be a surgeon, a heart surgeon, as we asked her before the match just to make sure what it was. And in 2019, stepped right into #1 singles, and a true captain that gets everybody to practice, and just honored on her senior day. Likely will not come back next year to use her 5th year. So this could be her final match in college.
I mean, either way you put it, she definitely has a bright future ahead of her, whether that involves tennis or not.
So those two have yet to start, as we're waiting on an umpire to appear. So that's what the holdup is. So let's chime in here to Court 2 second singles. Esther Benjamin, the sophomore from Flatbush, Brooklyn, is at the top of your screen, and Delray Beach's Angelina Catania on the bottom portion of your screen. Catania of Hunter, and we'll look out and see what her big serve is like and how sharp it's looking today.
I mean, Benjamin looks like she can really sling it in there as well. I know we talked about Catania in the pre-match about her having the big serve, but this one looks like kind of a battle between two big hitters here. And as you can see there, Benjamin looks like she's having some consistency with it.
So Catania a little frustrated. She's had ups and downs this year, but a player that is very much serve-driven, the way she has been described. And right now the return is not there. Benjamin with consecutive aces handcuffing Angelina Catania.
Well, yeah, it just looks like Benjamin is locked in on her serve right now. 3 good ones that she puts into the box, and she's going to the body there, which you got to like the aggression there. She's not trying to be too fine or too cute with it. She's just knowing that she's hitting big, and she has her timing right now. Serving, of course, not with the sun in her eyes, and she capitalizes there to hold. Let's see if Catania can do the same thing. Big serve there. And it looks like that when the wind isn't gusting, Catania with that high toss really isn't affected. When you get that first serve in, really just does do so much to give you the momentum for the rest of that game.
Meanwhile, first singles with our umpire having arrived to court 16. He's here. And we are ready to go. Eva de Guzman on the bottom of your screen, and Hunter Zara Afida at the top.
And Ralph, who says you need a warm-up there? De Guzman comes out of the gates firing there on the return game. I always found that it was a bit trickier to get your rhythm when you were returning first. And when you're serving, of course, you get to dictate the point. But de Guzman there showing that she doesn't need a warm-up or anything to get rolling and take the early 15-love lead.
Make it 30-love for Eva de Guzman. Her older sister had grown up playing tennis first. De Guzman's parents are from the Philippines. Older sister Miranda got Eva into dance and ballet at a young age, but eventually it was dad, Dan de Guzman, and the other sister, Diana, that eventually steered her over to tennis. Another winner.
Great return there. And you look at de Guzman taking that ball literally almost to the service line. That's old school tennis. Love to see the aggression there. And Ralph, you mentioned her background as a dancer. That definitely, she did say, helped her tennis. Tennis is a game of footwork, and so is dance. You can see there she moves around the ball very well. You can see that the average tennis player, professional tennis player, takes about 16 steps in between each shot, and de Guzman really showing those active feet. She's probably pretty close to that.
She takes game one quickly from Zara Afida, and de Guzman was ranked to the top 100 in junior Southern California section in her senior year by the USTA. That's saying something. In a place as she comes up with an ace in perhaps the greatest hotbed of high school and youth tennis that we have in our country.
Yeah, California and Florida, the East and the West. De Guzman, yeah, taking that ranking, and she was a 2-star recruit. She could have played probably at a D2 or even a lower level fringe D1 program and held her own. You can see here, I mean, she's by far the most developed player out on these courts today. She moves around the court so well too, Ralph.
Pretty smooth as Afida tried to change it up and drop the shot. And it is 30-0. 30-love unofficially here. Game two for Eva de Guzman. First point for Zara Afida. First serve out from Eva de Guzman. Oh, what a return. It took two fantastic returns from de Guzman. Afida putting her under pressure, and de Guzman still scoring.
Well, that's what Afida is going to have to do, is really just whack that forehand. And again, really make de Guzman play defense. You see there, I mean, just off of that forehand, not a whole lot de Guzman can do, but she wins that point there just with some incredible court coverage and hitting the ball in a place where Afida really just couldn't chase that down from the net.
40-15 de Guzman in game two. And the double fault by de Guzman, 40-30. In last year's CUNY final, it was de Guzman as a freshman, 6-0, 6-0 over Zara Afida. But Afida knows that there's matches taking place around her just like they did October 18th, where Hunter won in the regular season.
Wow, phenomenal play there from de Guzman. Working the lines, working the cross quick. She just hits with so much depth and so much spin. You wouldn't expect that from a girl who is only 5 feet. Really impressive to see. And they're making Afida move side to side, and ultimately just nothing that she could do there.
De Guzman making Afida work all around, and it's 2-0. Your opening set, first singles.
The rate this is going, Afida is going to run a marathon by the end of this match. And I caught up with de Guzman a little bit before, and that's what she said she was going to do, is make Afida run. And you see once that fatigue starts to set in later in the first, early second set, becomes a lot easier to draw out some of those unforced errors and open up the court for some big winners.
Well, Afida double faults, 15 all. Game 3, set 1, first singles. All 6 courts are now underway here at the Billie Jean King U.S. National Tennis Center. Hunter leads this championship 2-1, taking 2 out of 3 in doubles. (40-15) to Guzman.
She's just sticking to the game plan, keeping the ball deep and moving Afida around side to side.
Well, you're right. The amount of territory that Afida is trying to cover here as de Guzman goes up 3 games to none. Boy, left to right, Afida, who's just below us, you can see the constant movement, baseline to baseline, that de Guzman is forcing her under.
And the more that de Guzman is going to run Afida around, the less running that she is going to do herself, which is also important to note. I think you're going to see de Guzman be a lot fresher in that next set if the games keep unfolding like this.
As we touched on with Zara Afida during doubles, she was thrown into the #1 single spot as a freshman. She came to Alex Trezos early in 2019 and said she wanted the pressure of being at the top of the lineup. And at the time, he had older players that didn't want that pressure. She took lumps that year, and it says something about an athlete that is not going to look at the wins and losses individually. Coach Trezos joking with me, on the men's side, it can be very hard to slot in somebody consistently for #1 singles. They're looking at their records and realizing, you know, it may not look so good if you're in the 2 or 3 spot.
Well, it definitely does say a lot about Afida's character. She is clearly a team person and clearly isn't too involved in the individual wins and losses. It also gives Alex Trezos a real weapon, too, when he's able to put Catania, who's his best player, at the second singles spot and really run away with it there. Wow, beautiful second serve there. The second serve ace.
30 love, game 4, Ava de Guzman.
It is just such a joy to watch players who are willing to go for it on their second serve. You look at a Nick Kyrgios or Venus Williams mold, and they're de Guzman channeling that herself down the tee.
I've heard people talk about, Noah, and we'll get your thoughts on this after this serve.
With the wind at her back, wow. De Guzman doesn't overhit there and instead lets the weather do some of the work on her behalf.
40 love, game 4. I have heard folks say that the future of tennis could be just like the analytics in sports like basketball say, shoot the 3 more than 2s. Going hard at the second serve could be the future with the way that they can serve at the pro level now. You're better off being aggressive on second serve because the analytics say it is.
Well, it depends player to player. If you're a first server who's going to put 75% of your first serve points in, and on that first serve you're winning 80 to 90%, then it's a no-brainer. But if you're someone who struggles a bit on that first serve, even if you can pop it, you still might be better off mixing in some variety there. But that said, it definitely is a trend. It is, I guess we can say it's almost sexier to go for those big second serves. And you see players, especially like Kyrgios or the Aussies like CUNYAC, also just going for those balls. And definitely, if the crowds love it, puts on a show.
And de Guzman, another strong forehand. And that is game 4-0, Ava de Guzman.
She's absolutely rolling right now. You can see she's having a good time out there smiling, but you know underneath that smile she is absolutely locked in.
What a recovering shot by de Guzman off the lob.
She almost came into net a bit preemptively there. And definitely felt like she liked her chances just putting the ball in play on that second ball after the first aggressive shot. And, of course, the unforced error there. Did you know, Ralph, 60% of points in tennis come off of forced errors? Not unforced. But if you're able to put pressure on your opponent to have them deliver an unforced error, odds are you're going to win the match, regardless of how many winners you're hitting yourself.
Afida just committing the last error. De Guzman seals the 5th game. So she inches closer towards taking the first set. Fault on the first serve. De Guzman. Well, first of all, the second serve was fine as it was, and then what a return.
I think Afida was caught a little bit off guard by de Guzman serving and volleying. That was not a big second serve. And Afida, I think, could have maybe done a little bit more with that ball, but hey, it doesn't matter. De Guzman's there to put away at the net. Great volley to the corner.
Well, Afida Forces de Guzman into a hitting error, 15 all. Well, Lafita, a couple of good defensive returns, but de Guzman staying with it.
And Afita was just playing those balls a little bit too much in no man's land. Either if you're going to get to the net, get all the way to the net, or just stay back. And for somebody like Afita who can flat out rip the ball, she's almost better off doing that.
30-15 de Guzman, game 6.
Oh, sensational stuff from de Guzman. It's like she's almost forgetting the center of the court even exists. Everything is going to either side down the line or cross court.
(40-30) with a good return from Afida. Deuce in game 6.
And remember, Ralph, no ad scoring in college tennis. So this is a deciding point here.
And Afida able to take a game.
Secures the break there. You have to admire, she really has stayed positive through this first set. Does not appear to be getting down on herself and pretty much unfazed at whatever de Guzman is throwing at her.
And now 15 love. So when you look back, Zara Afida 6-0, 6-0 in the regular season, meaning last year's CUNY final, and then this year's regular season meeting, and she takes her first game ever against de Guzman. What a return from de Guzman after the strong and sharp slice from Afida, a shot that you just don't expect to come back at the Division III level.
Yeah, but we've been saying it this whole day that de Guzman is capable of playing above the D3 level, and showing exactly why right there. A little chip up the line. Doesn't matter where you hit it, you know it's coming back with her.
Afida double faults. 30-15 to Guzman, game 7.
I think the other thing that really stands out about de Guzman is just the variety that she brings in her game. She can hit deep and with spin, but you also see she's able to change pace with the slice there. And Afida just not looking too comfortable on court right now in general.
Another winner and a bounce back for de Guzman. 6-1. And the opening set is done. So Eva de Guzman, the two-time reigning CUNY Player of the Year. We'll see if we get some scores from the other courts, if any other sets have been completed. Set 1. And Ava will relax. Here's a look at Court 2. Angelina Catania of Hunter at the top of your screen. Esther Benjamin at the bottom for Baruch. Second singles. we'll try to get a score there. Back to court one. First singles. De Guzman with a closeout, 6-1 in the first set.
A rare double fault there.
Yeah, love 30 for Zara Afida. Looked like that Ava would cruise up 5-0, and you started to see around, I'd say game 4, Zara Afida starting to be a little bit more aggressive than where I'm sitting up here. Started to level out the play.
Yeah, we said it. She needed to have a short memory coming into today, not remembering what's happened in past matches or what happened even in the doubles just moments before. And it's looking like she has come out a little bit more comfortable and a little bit more confident in the second set.
15-30, Afida. Game 1 of set 2. And de Guzman with a charge to the net and puts pressure on Afida. 30 all. Shot missed.
It's an ambitious angle there, and she smiles to herself. The inside out from the center of the court with Afida positioned in the center of the court. Not super high percentage, but hey, when you've been hitting those shots all day and making them, why not keep going for it?
Well, Afida taking the first game. Uncharted territory for Ava de Guzman, trailing in any set in her career. Remember, she has never lost to anybody in CUNY all time, 12-0. The vast majority of those have been 6-0, 6-0. And Zara Afida has somehow changed the feel of this match over the last 4 or 5 games.
Absolutely, Ralph. And I think that, I mean, right now, de Guzman still playing very aggressive, might rein it in if Afida is able to consolidate the break there. But that's the first time de Guzman has been broken all day, through the doubles and through the first set of singles. So let's see if she can bounce back here. It's important to note the sun's starting to move out of position to where it's a factor on the serve on the far or on the near side, excuse me, for the right-handed servers.
Well, de Guzman comes out with purpose on that shot. Real opportunity there, missed for Afida, 15 all.
Yeah, and you said it there, Ralph. It's a missed opportunity, but that's the thing, that de Guzman is just going to keep getting the ball back, and Afida is just going to have to be a bit more consistent and really put the ball away with that big forehand of hers when the opportunity presents itself.
And now a double fault.
Can't give away the free points like that.
(30-15) to Guzman. Or check that rather, that was game 40-15 for de Guzman. 1-1. Second set.
Guzman there benefiting from the no-let rule. It always does throw you off a little bit when suddenly you're returning a let and the ball isn't exactly bouncing the way you thought it was going.
Oh, 15 all.
Wind's starting to swirl a little bit here in Flushing. It might be a bit hard for these players to kind of read. They should be putting anything extra or taking something off, depending on what side they're playing from.
Yeah, and Afida perhaps was thinking about seeing the wind push that ball, that hesitation, and all of a sudden her momentum had thrown her off. 40-15 to Guzman. Oh, what a return cross court.
That's what she does when she's going well. She'll make that big forehand with the angle, and there de Guzman, I like the aggression coming into the net, but there when Afida's on and is able to rip that forehand, it's just not going to be an effective play there for de Guzman. Plays the let again.
Wow, what a sharp slice. Moving against the grain.
Yeah, the inside out. She can go down the line. She can go inside out cross court. And really that forehand is just such a weapon wherever she is on the court. She can just get a little consistent with it. Maybe the tide of this match starts to turn a bit more.
Deuce in game 3, but that's out. Game 3 belongs to de Guzman. So she's back in front. 2-1. Second set. After losing a game in the first set and then trailing 1-0. What's very unique about Division III women's tennis is we see some action now with Court 2, Catania at the bottom, second singles, Benjamin at the top. It is unusual but starting to change because the women's tennis calendar has typically been you play your regular season in the fall, then you have to come back in April and you play the NCAA tournament in May. That's what Eva de Guzman and Baruch had last year. Game 4 underway, and 1-0 Afida. That has started to change at the Division I level, and Division II in certain conferences starting to do that. The men's season is also in the spring. Their NCAA tournament is also at the end of the spring season. And for the Division III players like de Guzman and the Baruch athletes, you shut it down, and then you try to get back into the same rhythm you were in October and November in the springtime.
And it's certainly challenging. It's not easy to fully shut it down after going full speed ahead. And you see it's a bit better now in the fall. You do have some bigger tournaments like the ITAs being played. But at the end of the day, taking a 3 or 4 month break, unless you're playing competitive tennis outside of what you're doing in college, it's definitely a challenge and something that the collegiate regulators at the NCAA are looking to rectify.
30-15, de Guzman in game 4. And de Guzman had to come back last year, and she lost to a player from Skidmore. That's who Baruch faced in last year's NCAA tournament. 40-15 now. But it's just not the same, and it's something that Greg Wiskowski is certainly, the Guzman's experience going through that last year is going to help her this year if she closes out the match here today and Baruch advances. (40-30) to Guzman, game 4.
Fida holds there.
Check that. That was a Fida. So 2-all, second set.
Definitely looks like something has clicked into place for Fida. She's feeling her serve a little bit more, and really just sticking those couple of forehand winners there, going inside out and inside in down the line, has done wonders for her confidence here, playing against a player who she maybe came in not really knowing what her chances were.
De Guzman with a strong response to open up game 5. What a patient run up by de Guzman, lining up that shot, looking at her choices.
Just a very well constructed point there. She bides her time, gets the short ball, and is able to capitalize off the approach.
30-love, game 5.
Mishit off the slice there from Fida.
(40-love) de Guzman. Fida hanging in there on a strong stroke right at her. And the closeout in game 5 for de Guzman. 3-2, second set. Just about to note, Noah, how just the last 2 games, Zara Fida has not been forced to move laterally as much as she was over the vast majority of the opening set. That appears to be a little bit of a difference in just the way the flow of the match is going.
Yes, absolutely. As she looks like she's heading to the bathroom now, maybe to catch her breath for a second. But it's tactical. We're getting her purse. Whatever it is, she's taking a break. But yeah, she hasn't really had to move as much in this second set, and I think there has been pressure that de Guzman is feeling. She's missed a couple of those aggressive shots that she was hitting earlier in the first set, and now Fida is able to dictate a little bit more, and when she gets those balls in the middle of the court, she's also able to put them where she wants, especially on that forehand side, and come away with some aggressive winners.
Guzman in last year's NCAA tournament lost 6-1 first set and trailed 2-0 second set against Skidmore College's #1 before the match was halted as Baruch was making its 3rd all-time appearance in the NCAA last spring. And they lost 5-0 to Skidmore.
Afida to serve.
Love 15, Hunter College's Zara Afida on serve. Well, look more like a doubles point there for de Guzman. 30 love.
Yeah, she gets into the net there and hits the good angled volley to put away the point. Textbook.
Love de Guzman. Game 6 to de Guzman. 4-2 in the second set. Beautiful final shots.
Yeah, you see there what de Guzman is able to do. She sets up the point by hitting deep, and there Afida isn't able to recover all the way over de Guzman with the winner down the line.
And 30 love de Guzman after the ace. Game 7.
Second double fault there for de Guzman. You mentioned Ralph, she's very even keel, doesn't show a lot of emotion out there, just gets right down to business. And that's what the best players do. Don't get rattled by past mistakes and just come out and execute on their next point.
Like that one, another pretty cross court. 40-15, Game 7. Here at the Billie Jean King United States National Tennis Center. What a great advantage it is for us in the New York area to have a facility like this to host college tennis championships, local events.
And of course the granddaddy of them all, the US Open.
The high school championships that are also being able to host here. Of course, people not from New York, they know of Arthur Ashe and Grandstand and the big facilities, but these side courts are also so quality. So well taken care of year round. .30 to Guzman. And that's all for Game 7. 5-2 to Guzman. A game away from a second CUNY championship. This one has not come as easy, though. After last year's 6-0, 6-0, today 6-1, 5-2, but she's worked through it. Credit Zara Afida for hanging in there, having a game plan, and as her coach Alex Trezos described it, you have to have a belief. These two players have now seen each other into their 4th ever meeting together, and then you add the experience with the doubles, so they're not strangers to one another. And the city tennis scene, while there are a lot of players at the college level, there aren't too many places you can go year-round that are indoor. So these players run into one another even in the winters. Game 8, and de Guzman with a sharp winner. Looked like maybe first serve might have been out, and instead it's the error anyway. 30 love to Guzman. Or rather, no, the last one was out, so it is love 30, game 8.
Match point.
40-15, Eva de Guzman. Just a look over my shoulder and around. This might be the first single that ends, and de Guzman wanted to finish it there, and instead overswung.
It's an interesting shot, the inside-out backhand. You almost have to let yourself be a little bit late on the ball to get that angle. De Guzman pushes it wide, but very aggressive.
There it is. Eva de Guzman has started her career as a freshman and sophomore, winning #1 singles in the CUNY Championships. 6-1, 6-2 today. So up to the minute, Baruch has now tied Hunter in the CUNY Championship. It's first team to 5 wins. #1 singles is now done. And we'll wait on any scores at the other 5 courts to see if anything else is super close. But Eva de Guzman, she's going to hope to go to the NCAA tournament. And now she'll cheer on her teammates. We go to second singles. Esther Benjamin, bottom portion of your screen of Baruch. Angelina Catania of Hunter at the top.
Good work from Benjamin there to apply pressure and force the error.
Fault on the first set, in the first serve. We saw Catania's serve, just a glimpse of it a couple times. Anxious to see what it looks like here, what should be the second set.
Both of these players likely define their game by more power than finesse. Esther Benjamin also has a nice serve on her as well. And both of them like to go for the big shots, hitting relatively flatter. I think it'll make for some quick points.
After the nice drop by Catania, and then the attempted volley by Catania is into the net. Esther Benjamin, 6-2 overall in singles play, exclusively in the #2 slots. She's missed some matches this year due to scheduling conflicts. While Angelina Catania, 9-1 this season, and 9-0 unbeaten in the number 2 spot.
Benjamin unhappy with the call there. She thought that clipped the back line.
Whoa, well, a very soft second serve from Catania, and then follows it up with that strong forehand.
Yeah, and I think what you really have to look at there is just the disparity between the first and second serve. And that's why it is just so critical for Catania to put that first serve in and really get the point going from there. A lot easier to win a point off of some weak contact on the return than it is when you're just kind of dinking your second serve in like that.
And off the net and down for Angelina Catania.
The net cord is unkind. That's what you got to say on a point like that. Absolutely unreturnable there. And just a smile from both players. No, nothing could have been done differently there on either side.
Benjamin misses there. We're waiting to get a score here on second singles. Number 1 singles is done. Eva de Guzman defeating Zara Afida of Hunter. 6-1, 6-2. Still 5 courts playing, and there's one behind us as we're located here sitting above court 16 at the U.S. National Tennis Center. And there it is. So Catania 1-7-5 against Esther Benjamin of Baruch in the first set and leads 2-1 in the second.
Both players look like they're holding serve pretty well in this one. And Ralph, you could even say the success of either team probably hinges on this singles match right here.
Yeah, when you really look at the depth that Hunter had. And Angelina Catania, that's why we focused on her in the Open last year. Also mainly at second singles, where she was 9-1. And first doubles with Zara Afida. This year changing it up a little bit. She was paired up with the freshman Savinch Rakhmatinova. And Benjamin frustrated with herself. 2-1, Catania, set 2. The body language right now of Esther Benjamin is showing the issues. In doubles, she was trying to find her serve early, eventually did for a period of time, and now it's her game on the baseline that is suffering.
And she knows she has to hold here. This is a big game for her, especially when you're going up against a player like Catania, who has such a big serve herself, isn't going to give you much. Every hold is absolutely critical.
Aggressive play from Benjamin.
And Catania should have let that ball go. And then she knows it too.
And Catania may have tried to do too much with it, steering it to the corner. Angelina hoping to pursue a career in sports medicine. Wanted to come to New York. One of her coaches in Florida reached out to Alex Trezos as she cast a wide net across all the New York City schools. And another volley back for Catania.
Sent that one back with authority.
So I think that was 3-1, and it is.
So Catania secures the break. And if she holds here, that'll be big for Hunter in the broader scope of this tournament here.
And it looks like they're also final over on court 3, which was Regina Kelly of Baruch and Sevinch Rakhmatinova of Hunter.
Great depth on that ball there. Catania showing why she is really the top singles player for Hunter.
Hunter victorious on court 3. 6-3, 6-4. And a good battle as freshman of Fort Hamilton, Brooklyn, Sevinch Rakhmatinova wins over Regina Kelly of Baruch. So Hunter now back in front in this championship, 3-2. Again, it's first to 5, and then everything automatically halts.
So that makes this match here over on court 2 really a must-win for the Baruch Bearcats. They want to have a shot at staying in this.
And you hear coaches talk about it, so much of it, of course, is the timing as well when matches end in some of these close ones, where if you can somehow delay in a couple of swing matches and allow your teammates elsewhere, because it's also a race to get to 5, not just winning 5. And Benjamin frustrated with herself there. Ace for Catania. And that's 4-1 Hunter.
That might be the biggest hold that we've seen today. Ice in her veins, Angelina Catania.
Angelina this year has been a number 3 setters. Her MO has been strong first sets, establishing the serve, up and down second sets, and then returning back to her form in first sets. She's shown Alex Trezos a lot of mental toughness. But the serve, the ultimate weapon, and particularly in Division III.
We were saying earlier, Ralph, that to be successful in Division III, you don't necessarily need to always be a complete player. But if you have one weapon that you can keep going to, be it a serve or your ground strokes or your net play, you can still end up being pretty formidable.
Benjamin double faults to open up game 6. 15-love Catania. That one also over swinging. 30-love. And both coaches remarking this was going to be, Alex Drezos used the term dogfights. Greg Wiskowski felt this could be a real battle. If someone loses confidence, it could go either way. And Benjamin trying to find a good segment. Must have been a pretty good battle in set 1. Great return from Catania.
Yeah, Catania just executes on her game plan there, moving Benjamin around and ultimately bringing her in, but not really in a way that Benjamin could have done anything with that ball at the net.
40-love, Catania. Another driving backhand. 5-1 Catania.
That break there was huge for Catania. And now she is set to serve for the match and really put Hunter in the driver's seat for the rest of these CUNY championships.
Well, what a drop by Catania. She's shown a little bit more than just serving in the segment we've seen.
Yeah, great mobility there to even just get the ball into that position. And again, if you can force the other player into an error, you're probably going to be pretty set up for success. Catania executing right there.
Let's watch her second serve here. A lot more of a lollipop than most, huh? But
yeah,
it works for her there, 30-love.
And sometimes, yeah, you'll see that a player that doesn't really have the momentum with them will overhit on one of those easy second serves. And hey, it doesn't matter how you win the point as long as you do. Catania, yeah, firmly in the driver's seat on this match, I'd say at this point.
No, it also appears to be a quick tempoed second serve, or it's just quick lollipop before your opponent is quite on their heels and ready. And now on first serve delivers an ace, and now a stroke away from a victory in second singles. 40-love. And that's out, and Catania takes the last two games quickly. 7-5, 6-1. Number 2 singles goes to Hunter. And now Hunter is just a win away somewhere. They lead this CUNY championship 4-2. Angelina Catania. A huge second set after what must have been quite a battle at 7-5 to come back out and frustrate Esther Benjamin. 6-1 in the second set.
Yeah, and judging by these cheers right now, I believe something just wrapped up.
Yeah, we're seeing celebration from Hunter. Again, there's 6 courts taking place So something must have also gone final either on, it must have been court 4, Anna Chapko against Baruch's Erica Shiludenko. And we'll await word, but it appears that the Hunter Hawks have done what they did in the regular season, and that is defeat Baruch via the same script. Lose in first singles and first doubles handily, but the depth of Coach Alex Trezzo's roster that have been so strong throughout the year, 11-0 coming in, including quality victories over programs like Farmingdale State when they were missing some, didn't have a full lineup. They had a rain out in CUNY play, moved to the next day. Alex says, I have no idea how we've remained undefeated, and the answer is their depth. They were down 4-2 to Farmingdale State in a match, rallied to win the last 3, won 5-4 against Ramapo. They have had to use the full roster, and that doesn't always happen in tennis, but for this version of Hunter in 2022 it has. So it looks like all matches are halted, and we can declare Hunter College champions for the 23rd time in CUNY women's tennis. 5-2 is the final. We'll await to see who else finished off their match to get that 5th victory just minutes after we showed Angelina Catania's win in second singles over Esther Benjamin. So we'll provide the reaction for you coming up, the trophy presentation as the two teams gather, and Hunter high fives and celebrates. So the presentation will be coming up, and I'm anxious to hear about what this season has been like for the Hawks, because they've had to make choices at the 5 and 6 spots consistently.
But it's a great luxury to have, even being able to make those choices. Whether it was Chapko or Chan or Ratti, so much depth on this Hunter Hawks team, and clearly it paid off today. You can hear the cheers behind us. A well-deserved win for these ladies.
We'll take time out. We will gather the relevant facts, but we do know Hunter College victorious today in the CUNY Women's Tennis Championship in Flushing at the Billie Jean King Women's National Tennis Center. And we'll come back and get some reaction as well here on Facebook Live.
Excellent. Again, welcome and thank you for supporting our 2022 CUNYAC Women's Tennis Championships. It was an extremely well-played match, and I want to congratulate both teams on tremendous performance today. I'd like to begin by recognizing today's runners-up, the Baruch College Bearcats. Ladies, very well played. Congratulations on a tremendous season. And I'd like to welcome the head coach and the captains to receive the runners-up trophy.
Ava? Esther. Good job, girl. Stephanie. Stephanie. Good job, girl. Brianna. Kayla. My doubles partner, Erica. Kelly. Andrea. Alejandra. Good job, girl. Oh. Coach Annie. Thanks, Coach. Coach Greg. Yeah, Coach. Oh, and me, Regina.
Congratulations, ladies. The Baruch College Bearcats, this year's runners-up. Thank you. And, okay, and without further ado, we would like to move on to this year's regular season champions and today's CUNYAC Championship winners, the Hunter College Hawks. Coach, if you'd like to bring yourself up and the captains to present the trophies. Okay, and we'd like to invite the each of the team up to receive your individual medals. If you'd like to please do so. Thank you.
Thank you. Angelina, my doubles partner. Savanch. Let's go, Savanch. Anna. Nikki. Mia. Marsha. Layla. Lily. Oh, Sunday Lily, and our favorite Instagram holder, Lily McAndrews. Her. Coach Ron. Coach Rob. And finally, my favorite, Coach Alex. And then finally, myself, Zara Fida.
It's a real baddie.
And before we do the final photo with the banner, I'd like to announce today's tournament MVP from the Hunter College Hawks, Angelina Catania. Again, thank you very much for your participation. Please, a round of applause for both teams on an excellent final.
All right, there's the trophy presentation to the Hunter College Hawks, winning the CUNY Women's Tennis Championship for a CUNY leading 23rd time, but first since 2019. Of course, the pandemic, no season in the fall of 2020. Last year coming back, and it was Baruch that won 5-2. Today, Hunter using their depth, defeating Baruch 5-2. The other winner was Nikar Ratti just minutes right before Angelina Catania's victory, 7-5, 6-1 over on second singles. So Ratti defeating Alejandra Cardenas of Baruch. That was over on court 11, sixth singles. That made it 4-2. And almost right around the same time, Catania with the clincher. Hunter going through the final photo ops, and then we'll be joined up here by Alex Drezzo's coach and Angelina Catania to wrap up the CUNY Tennis Championship. So Hunter will go to the NCAA tournament, and that'll take place next May, and their next challenge will be how to get prepared for that to compete against some quality programs in an NCAA regional. That's what makes women's tennis so challenging. You get going again sometime in late March as a team, but the schedule is not as loaded as it is in the fall period, and a lot can happen. And you've got to work out on your own through these winter months and find consistent hitting partners and not have to play catch up and procrastinate towards being your very best the way you are today here on October 27th. So it's a real challenge and a test in the women's tennis world in the NCAA. And Hunter with the win, remains unbeaten at 12-0. Baruch's season finishes up at 10-15. And also with the win of known Angelina Catania, remains undefeated now, 10-0, playing in second singles. Hunter in the championship for the fourth straight year. This was the third straight final, and arch rivals Hunter and Baruch rivals across the board in every CUNY sport, and Baruch College, they'll be back under Coach Greg Wiskowski, and they'll look forward to 2023 for Ava de Guzman's junior year, as she will start to approach a record-setting career now, and someone that could reach potentially 50-55 wins in her collegiate career. And she closed out her sophomore season undefeated, but there will not be an NCAA tournament for her. And big smiles from Nikar Ratti. Ratti had been on the team in 2019 at John Jay before transferring over to Baruch. She had lost to Hunter, so she had experienced that. On the other side of it, and now a winner with Hunter College 3 years later. So as pictures continue to be taken, and we'll welcome on up here at court 16, Alex Trezos, Angelina Catania, and the wrap-up. Coach Trezos, first, congratulations. Well, you had projections. You know, you hope, you have a recipe for success. Describe how this one went down. You certainly almost were able to copy and paste what occurred in the regular season meeting about 2 weeks ago here today, but this was a little bit of a different recipe, but same result. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. It was more difficult this time, bigger challenge. We knew that Baruch has a great team, great coaching. We knew they would come stronger than before, and so we had to really kind of pretend we lost the last match, because it's easy to fall into a trap. Being perfect is good and bad.
Right.
So it was a big challenge to just stay perfect and make sure that they didn't feel too much pressure throughout the match. So we got off to some slow starts in doubles, also in singles, and then we just regrouped, and you know, all credit to these ladies. Baruch has a great program, so they are definitely have been the gold standard. So we're very proud of all the ladies today.
Yeah, 23 total titles, though. Don't forget about that.
That's right.
Hunter still having a large lead all time in women's tennis. You mentioned something interesting. How were you able to convince your team to forget about their 5-2 victory? What went into that in your psychology to your group from your captains?
Yeah, it wasn't easy. So, you know, it's right after the match we played last Tuesday. It's easy to, you know, take it easy in practice, take a day off or two. So, I mean, me and my coach Ron, we had to really get them to focus on practicing even harder than before. And like I said, almost pretending that we didn't win at all. Mm-hmm. So we knew the hard work was still ahead, and they just fight for everything. So they give you nothing. And I think we got through to the ladies that nothing's going to be easy today.
Let's talk about your depth,
Yeah.
particularly freshman Anna Chapko looked like she was in control of hers. Your freshman Sevinch Rakhmatinova, 6'3", 6'4", over Regina Kelly of Baruch, who has some experience over on third singles of note. And then Nikar Ratti, who is a senior. She was on the losing end with John Jay against Hunter College and you.
Yeah.
She picks up 6-2, 6-2 win over on 6 singles. That sets the ball rolling for you. Describe your depth and how they executed.
Yeah, actually Mia won the match at 5, so that was the score. And Nikki was in a third set. They were about to start the third set.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, so Mia Chan really came through with a huge victory. Our freshmen Sevinch and Anna, I think they were perfect all year, I'm pretty sure. And today they played their best tennis. Sevinch really nailed down third singles and second doubles for us. So she was a huge addition. We lost a lot of key players last year. So she just did a great job all year long, and played her best tennis. I had to tell them before the match that we haven't played our best yet, and hopefully today, I believe was their best.
A final couple of thoughts, Alex. You told me it was very difficult to have to tell two of your players that they weren't going to be in the lineup because of your depth, 4 through 8. How did you see that? Maybe this was your deepest team now over the course of your 5 total years and 3 seasons. How did you see that organically evolve and blossom when you may have had your deepest team on a day-to-day basis?
Right. Definitely was our deepest team, and we definitely had 8 players that were deserving of playing in the playoffs. But, you know, you have to narrow the lineups when you get to playoff time, but they contributed all year long. Lily O'Hare and Marsha, our senior, they contributed all year, and we would not have gotten here without them. And yeah, it's just tough, and they're so professional. They just supported their teammates while you know, others would have, you know, kind of been upset about it and let it impact them. But they were the best teammates you could ask for.
Next challenge is, look, in Division III women's tennis, you play in the fall, you sit a while, you crank it up again in April, and then you have to play NCAA tournament, the biggest match of your season, all the way in May. How about the challenge this deep group now faces ahead of that NCAA regional May 10th or so?
Yeah.
2023, folks, 2023.
That's right. It seems far away, but I'll be up on us quicker than we know it. And yeah, it's another challenge as a coach to make sure they stay engaged. And when the time comes that we practice even harder than we did all year. So definitely will be a challenge, but they're definitely up to it.
Coach Drezos, congratulations on the title. Let's bring in Angelina Catania. So over the course of this very deep team, we came in talking about how the depth of Hunter was going to be tested, but who would be in a key swing match? Angelina Catania in second doubles and second singles was going to be in a key one there. Let's just fix your headset there. Angelina, first of all, congratulations. It was coming down to the wire. You probably hear some screams, but just describe overall what this day was like, where you guys knew you probably had to copy and paste again, win 5-2 if first singles and first doubles wasn't going to go your way.
Yeah, it was a lot of pressure on us, but we knew we could pull through. Everybody worked super hard to get to where we are right now, and I'm just super proud of my team and for how hard we worked.
Obviously, you're a sophomore, so you've seen new players added. Describe 1 through 8, what it was like daily for you working for your spot at second singles, second doubles, now with the added depth that Coach Drezos was able to add in recruiting.
Yeah, a lot of new players came in and they really added to the team. We have Savinch, who is brand new, really strong player. Anna, she also helped out a lot, and because of them, we pulled it through.
You're in a position where being in second singles, so you know it's 3-2. You take the first set against Esther Benjamin of Baruch 7-5 in what must have been a battle, and you must have known it must have gone to 4-2 at that point. You might have heard the screams around you. Describe your second set, because 7-5 was a battle, and all of a sudden you roll through 6-1. Describe over those last 4 or 5 games how you were able to seal it and ultimately pick up the championship win.
Yeah, the first set was rough. I was down 4-0, pulled through that one, and the second one I got my confidence level back up, really stuck it out, and I was able to get my serves back in, and all my ground strokes were pretty solid. So.
You mentioned your serve. You're known for your big serve. A Florida girl, today wind was 15 miles an hour. Last year was also sort of windy. It usually is windy here. How did you manage your serve today to try to make your asset show up in the championship?
A lot of control. Got to keep the anger down when it goes out and just keep it in.
Angelina, now up next, you're going to play in an NCAA championship, but it's in May. What does the next winter look like and most of the spring to get ready for that great opportunity?
Lots and lots of practice, morning, afternoon, whatever it takes.
Angelina Catania of Delray Beach, congratulations, and you're a CUNY champion. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Angelina Catania joining us up here on court 16, and that puts a wrap on things as Hunter College victorious for the 23rd time in their great program's history in women's tennis, 5-2 over rival Baruch. So that wraps it up for our entire crew today. For our director, Ben Talbot, thank you. For my partner, Noah Wolf, my name is Ralph Bednarczyk saying so long and goodbye. You've been watching the 2022 CUNY Women's Tennis Championship on Facebook Live.